oh my God, many survey shows that designers are the most depressed people.
More than PMs, more than engineers, more than founders
is the truth. That is what I found in my own research too. So you'll be shocked at how many designers that their first ideas get shipped into the product. Like how many designers do not even have time to explore anymore. You'll be shocked at how many designers are in that bucket. One of the beautiful things about being a designer is being creative, right? Moonchild lets you be creative because a lot of these other tools that really can maybe do a bit of what we do, you would have to go into the weeds of code. You would have to understand CSS and HTML. But that is not your job as a designer. I know they are product engineers, right? But just by default, they are designers and they are engineers. So that shouldn't be your job. It's not your job to do all of that. And these are the people we are building Moonchild for. The burnt out designers, the designers that the designers that can't even pour multiple options for the PRDs that they are designing for just because of time. Not because they don't want to. Not because they don't want to. In fact, the creative part is the fun part for designers. So it's not like they don't want to, but just because
they physically cannot.
Compared to front-end engineers, designers pay for stuff. I think that's just it, yeah.
According to Lenny's Tech Workers Sentiment Survey, designers are the most burnt out people in tech, with 24% reporting high levels of burnout. That's more than engineers, more than PMs, more than marketers. But wait, isn't this the AI era? Didn't we say AI would 10x workflows, supercharge productivity, supercharge creativity, automate the grunt work? But why are designers still exhausted? Today on Behind the Ship, I chat with someone who has been quietly tackling this question and the people behind it. Meet Lotanna Nwose, head of growth at Moonchild, an AI tool for product designers. I'm going to link the invite code and description in the comments. In the past year alone, Lotanna has personally spoken to 300 designers, more than 300 designers, across markets, roles, and levels of experience. What he has found are patterns, contradictions, and a few things that I'm going to share in this conversation. Enjoy. You told me that you talked to over 300 designers in the last year. That's a large amount of people to talk to. First of all, what were the patterns that you've recognized that started to show up in these conversations?
So about patterns, there are quite a bit of interesting things. One of them, which might not be shocking, is I think just for context, the research, the conversations were just mostly around what designers spend their time doing. That was at least for a good 6 months. A lot of designers, the conversations are what you spend your time doing, what takes up a chunk of your time. And it's very surprising, or it might not be surprising today, but as the time I started it, maybe around a year ago, it was surprising that aside Figma, of course, Figma is where most designers spend their time. Aside Figma, the next tool a lot of people use as much as possible, by mouse. Of course, let's say 90%, according to our own internal data from this research, 90% of people use Figma, over 90%. But 78% of people use ChatGPT.
Wow.
So that is something you would expect to see in reports like the state of design that Figma does every year. I don't know if you took a look at 2025's version.
Yeah, I did.
Not design focused it was. It was just a report about developers, and they named the state of design, which again, another conversion. But it's quite interesting that we found that out, and that was just really telling that a huge chunk of designers at different stages of their work use ChatGPT or use an LLM to mostly ChatGPT to do, a lot of things from critiquing their work to just uploading PRD, break this thing down for me, to getting ideas, to getting copy. Right? You'll be shocked. Like a lot of designers use ChatGPT for UX writing because a lot of teams don't officially have a UX writer. It's like
Right.
bigger companies that do that.
Mm.
And a lot of designers, as as I guess it might not sound crazy, but a lot of designers, at least that I talked to, were just like, I'm not that great with copy. I'm not a marketing person, and so I have to, get copy ideas. I have to, especially when I'm working on something new, when it's not like, oh, we're just updating this or we're just adding this to something I know. I have to understand better. I have to ask questions. I have to get examples. I have to get ideas, and that was one of the starting points of what became Moonchild today.
Did you notice any differences depending on where those designers lived, right? So if you spoke to a designer that lived in Nigeria or just on this side of the world versus say in the West, were there any similarities? Were there areas where they diverged so much?
Again, as you also need to understand that the research was not like expansive. It's not like Figma went out to do some research. It's like small
Mm-hmm.
company, one or two,
Mm-hmm.
three people, right? And again, what we're focusing on was like what people were spending their time on. But obviously, one of the things you could immediately notice across various markets is um, it seemed to me that people in emerging markets kind of almost always have like more than one thing they're doing. So if they have like their main jobs, they'll
Mm.
either mentoring other people or they're building some kind of small service,
Mm.
Figma plugin, something else aside their 9 to 5. It's such in fact, if you go through a call note and say, oh, this person is a designer, but also is this.
Doing
If
this
you
thing.
check the
Mm-hmm.
location, it's going to be India or Pakistan or Nigeria or South Africa or Ghana, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it feels like people in the West are just doing their work, going back to bed to their cats. In fact, you see more animals on calls in the West.
Oh no,
That's
you're gonna
another
get
thing.
dragged.
That's another thing, actually. No, I'm not saying that people that are not in the West don't have animals. I'm just trying to make a
Making an
point of the
observation.
fact that, yeah, that
Yeah,
on the calls at least, literally, if you
yeah.
watch calls back, you see a lot of cats, and a lot of them are like in Portugal, Spain, and UK,
It's
and,
somewhere.
so it's not like people in Lagos don't have cats and dogs. They do, but I think it's more so the fact that at the time of the conversations, wherever they are, people in the West are probably already settled. They're out of work. They're chilling. They have a cup of drink or tea in
Mm-hmm.
their hands, stuff like that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So there's that. I also find that um, in the West there are just more companies, right? So um, you would hear things like you hear very niche design roles in the West.
Mm.
But again, that's easily explained, right? There are less and less like tech companies that are big enough to hire multiple
Mm.
designers, of course, in the outside of the West compared to the West, right? So you see,
Mm.
I found that a lot of big companies, I didn't know this before. I imagine this was some extra things designers did, but apparently in bigger companies, there are design system maintenance. And so they're like
Mm.
pods, and the pods are just for design system maintenance and building and maintenance and updating, right? And that
Mm.
was something that was I I heard about or I discovered just by having all of these conversations, and it
Mm.
was another very big distinction again between the West and developing markets. But yeah, these are the few I can remember. There'll probably be a lot more.
What was the state of mind of this designer that you spoke to? How did they feel?
Hmm. This is a good one. This is a good one. I think a lot of designers, general thoughts, and I guess maybe again it comes from the fact that like the times, right? Around a year ago, all the way till maybe beginning of the year, there is still this huge AI frenzy, right? And so a lot of people, because I tell people when I'm on a call with them, like, you could vent to me, just tell me what's on your mind. So people can go off tangents in calls like that. And so a lot of people just vent about AI. Are they replacing me? Are they not? Stuff like that. So a lot of conversations were around, like, am I being replaced? A lot of people, think about it like stages of grief, where a lot of people are still in the
Mm.
question stage. And so people are like already in
By
acceptance, where they're like,
acceptance. Hmm.
I know if I use AI, I'll have an edge and everything. And again, it's interesting to note that, again, this is over a year, and even the advances that's happened within AI across this research process has also been crazy, right? So it started off with, at the earliest stages, say around August, ending of August, September last year, the divide, like that 78% of people who use ChatGPT was around 62, 63,
Hmm.
but the average kept moving and moving, and now it's at 78. I imagine if we still continue talking to,
At the
of
end
course, we
of
are
the
now
year.
in building products,
Hmm.
it probably get to 80. I wouldn't surprise be 80,
I
83%,
won't be
right?
as well. Hmm.
And that kind of shows, whatever is happening, awareness is just happening. New products are coming out, that is kind of making sure people know about, people see what is possible with this new technology and everything. I think there's something Jeff Bezos said that I quite liked, and that is, there are foundational shifts in the world that you cannot just call trends, right? So electricity, it cuts across everything, right? Every single thing, actually, right? And then there is the internet, another thing that's foundational across every single thing,
Not
right?
a trend.
And the next one is AI,
AI.
right? Is also something foundational that can cut across every single thing if you think about it, or most things at least. And I think that is true. So even though different people have different feelings around this, and of course we're going to talk about this a lot in this conversation, but like, a lot of people feel like, we are now in. I think we are still in the early days. Like, I think we are in. I think we are in really we are. I don't even think we're in day one yet for AI. You know what Jeff Bezos always says, where this is day one for the internet. It's funny, we're now in a new fold, and the
Of day
internet
one.
now has, yeah, like, it's still day one of the internet according to Jeff till tomorrow, but we're also, I think, in a day zero of AI is what I think, right? Because there's a lot of things when you think about how things are created, how things are made. There's just a lot of things that is yet to come, right? And I think this is an exciting space to be in, anyways. But yeah.
I saw a video somewhere about, since there is this rise and the AI technology keeps improving, there is now a need for um, the human talent, and verifying humanness is another thing that's also going to be like very huge
Hmm.
across all sectors. Like, how can you
Okay.
verify that? Verify, can this be verified? Can
Hmm.
we verify this thing, no matter what it is? Like, so let's talk about, like, just, this is a little off topic, but there's just conversations around, like, how can we put more data in places that they can be verified. So, for instance, the blockchain technology, like getting more data on chain, so it's verifiable, it's trustless. Yeah, just a little off key. But back to the conversation. Why did you talk to this many designers? I'm sure, like, that's what's on my mind. That's what's going to be in
Yeah,
people's mind.
yeah. I expected this question. I expected this question to be your first question. I think the answer is very simple. So,
Mhm.
um, some context is, um, we started off with MightyMeld. So MightyMeld was the company and the product
Yeah.
that we had for, about 3 years. That we then pivoted into a new product, Moonchild. So it was a period of, we built something that people loved, but people wouldn't normally pay for. It wasn't out of the world in a way that would be a painkiller. So, for example, ChatGPT last year, for example, wouldn't be is a product a lot of people pay for, but it wouldn't be a product that you wouldn't wake up and do your work without. So it wasn't a painkiller per se, right? It was a, let's just put it in a vitamins. Um, let's just say it's a vitamin, right? And for a vitamin, it just
Nice to have.
nice to have, exactly, right? And the fact that it was a nice is a nice to have didn't stop it from being a product people found enough value in to pay for, right? And so that is something that we didn't have in MightyMeld, right? It was a good product. It was a nice to have, like in the nice to have category. Like we like to say, painkillers and vitamins. So it was in the vitamins category, but was not vitamin enough that people would normally pay for. Like how ChatGPT is vitamin, but people pay for, right?
Exactly.
And why I say that is because it was in the dev tool space, but it was for the group of developers that never pay for anything in their life. You can already guess, front end
Front
engineers.
end.
So it was a front end product, and so even though it was good, and we could have kind of chased that and gotten somewhere, but we were just very honest with ourselves with the fact that wherever it is we're going to get wouldn't be a revenue positive company. It would is either we kind of keep raising money and keep going and chasing that. But it was going to be like a very, very difficult climb to get there because, again, just by default, in fact, before before the new wave of AI products came out, right? Again, front end engineers were still the number one type of engineers that never pay for any kind of tools, like from their hosting to how they learn to courses to like literally. So it was an interesting space. So it was that journey of because Moonchild MightyMeld started off, it's funny the names are names.
Still.
MightyMeld started off with trying to find creative ways that designers and engineers could work together. It just turned out that when the product started getting a lot of usage, it was more developers that were adopting it than designers, and so we just focused on the developers. So it wasn't a company that just started out and was like, it's going to be a
We want to
DevTools
be for
company.
those.
Yeah, exactly. So it just happened, like the product led it there, right? Product adoption led there. So and that's a very, very important context because we've always had a team for designers. The team is a team of product designers. There are people from Envision. There's like a user-centered design professor from Caltech. There's a whole team. So like really solid team out of SF. And so it's always been product. And so we kept talking to both designers and developers. I just happened to be the person talking to a whole lot of designers over time within that pivot process till we got to something we found to be viable enough for us to actually just like fully focus on.
Fully.
So
Yeah.
that is the why. That is the why we didn't just wake up to talk to. You just wake up like, oh, we need to talk to 300. The 300 just happened, right? It was just a matter of
Can we validate this thing?
yeah, what do we need to do? Like what are, because again, this is not working. We need to do something else. We have some runway, we need to do something else. We're excited, we like to work together. So like, what else can we do? And so the first question is for the people who wanted to solve for what do they do? What do they do with their time? So that's what led to this conversation. Like where do you spend your time in?
Those questions you figured out, okay, I'm curious about these topics and these are the people that they affect and I need to talk to these people. Right. So that's just the digging. That's how it happens. I mean, that makes sense, right? So there was a lot of validating to do. There was a lot of keeping your mind open to. So when you hear that thing, you don't discard it, right? So when you hear those pain points or those opportunities, those areas of improvement, those areas of opportunities, you're not going to discard it. So there's a lot of listening that needs to happen, really listening.
Yeah.
Which of course, when you say the team is just like you shared with me, it's just you and two other people.
Yeah.
Literally, you and
Yeah.
two other people. Just let's don't get it twisted. So yeah, I mean, well done to you guys. You're building Moonchild. I hope that we can get to see it pretty quickly. You're building Moonchild for designers. So before we get into the demo, I wanted us to play a quick fire game. No
Okay.
pressure. No pressure. But basically, right, I'm going to spit out a phrase and you're
Hmm.
going to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay. I love this one.
Okay, nice. So are you ready? Are you
Yeah.
ready? Are you sure? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Designers should stop doing
Should
what
stop
to
doing. Oh
You're
my
not
god,
playing
this
skill
is
well.
hard.
You're thinking like for
This is
five
hard.
for 10 seconds. You
Designer
have to
should
start
stop vibe
again.
coding. Sorry. Designer should stop vibe coding.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Oh, so
Second
I
one.
expected the game to be a word, and then I say
You can
what
say
comes
a
to mind,
word, you
not a
can say it's
phrase.
a
No, no, no,
phrase, you
no, no.
can
Like I mean
yeah.
you. I mean what you tell me. I
Okay,
expected what
okay,
you tell me
okay.
to be a word.
Oh,
I didn't
oh,
expect
oh,
it to
no,
be
no.
complete this
I said I'll
sentence. That's how you
spit
could
out
have
a
said.
phrase. Yeah.
I'm
So
sorry.
are you ready? Second one.
Yeah. Okay.
Growth people are secretly
Are
you're
secretly
thinking. Oh my
analytics.
god, you're
Are
thinking.
secretly analysts. Oh my god.
Okay, cool.
This is hard.
All right, last
Good
one.
people
It's
are
actually
secretly
really, it's
analysts.
actually a little hard because you're filtering in your mind. You're actually filtering. Okay, last one. AI will never replace.
AI will never replace intuition.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. That's all. That's actually all.
Okay.
That's all. So let's go quickly into the demo. So,
Hmm.
you've told us a lot about the problem. Let's see the solution.
Let me. Okay.
So just walk me through what Moonchild does and some of your favorite use cases.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Let
Cool,
me
cool, cool.
see. Okay. So this is Moonchild. Let
Mm-hmm.
me. Moonchild is basically a. Currently, I call it a product design alignment tool that
Mm,
starts off with ideation.
mm.
So let me see. This test. So this is what it looks like, right? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
And so let's say, as I said before, a lot of people use ChatGPT,
Mm-hmm.
but we started thinking like, what kind of value do people even get from ChatGPT as product designers in terms of
Mm-hmm.
ideation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so people do stuff like, for example, let's say you have a PRD, they will attach it, but let's say I am working on a let me find something that is quite niche that I would have to have studied for or like do research on. So let's say horse betting um
What's the
platform
betting?
for
Okay. Mm-hmm.
for or let me say just working people in the UK. So this is the first question I'll probably be about think about like what should the main screens look like,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I wanted this to be a tablet, for example. And this is 3 by default. When I click this is what happens,
What is the
right?
three? What is the three?
So 3 basically means 3 variations. You see each idea comes in threes basically.
Three
So it's 3
variations. Okay.
options. Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let me scroll through so you see what's going on. So here it says, let me approach this from a professional design perspective. For your betting platform, targeting working people in the UK, you need to balance accessibility, blah, blah, blah. Okay, right? Core design philosophy, it kind of breaks down how it thinks about things.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says um, color strategy, tells you the kind of colors it's going to use, and then it goes into telling you, the key screens. The first screen should be the home dashboard screen. It should be able to tell you today's races. It should be able to help. You should be able to quickly select stuff. So you're looking here, and what you're seeing is answers plus visuals. Because one of the things ChatGPT does is to just give you text as answers, right? If you want an image, from ChatGPT, you're going to. This is just like one sentence. This is a chart. If you want an image from ChatGPT today, you're going to give it a detailed 4 or 5 paragraph of what you want to design for you, which if you know what you want, is not really ideation,
might as well
is it?
design it.
Go design it, exactly. The time you spend forming 5 very narrowed prompts, because we have 2 guiding principles, right? One of them is designers should think visually. They shouldn't think in HTML and CSS. Even though today a lot of designers are pushed to, we don't believe designers should be, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is designers shouldn't be prompt engineers. And I know this is anti-AI. Everyone needs to learn how to do prompts. We don't believe in that. We believe that designers shouldn't be prompt engineers. So just remember these guiding principles, because that will make some things make sense, right? And so you go into this. What we do is, just by default, immediately start showing you options and telling you things. So this is something you could probably, if you prompt well in ChatGPT, you probably get some of these answers, but you wouldn't get this visual responses also. What we do is to kind of bottle everything together for you, where you get the things you're looking for and you also get visuals for them. So, for example, one screen is done. This is what one screen looks like.
Nice.
Immediately, one of the things you kind of notice is copy. You immediately see how, for a field, again, you might know something about this field or not, that I don't know anything about this field. You could immediately start getting a sense of how things work. There's the betting part of things, and then there's the horse racing part of things, right? And you could begin to see how things work. And for every screen, you could actually preview. So this is an image, but you could actually preview it to actually see the full thing as an interactive screen, right? So you could play around with things. So you see here, there is the options, of course, races, my bets, promo, some things you would expect from a betting platform. And then you see the type of races that exist in the featured ones. You see the next races coming up. You see popular bets. And all of these things are copied, right? And are things you could immediately, copy and take into your Figma right away. So literally, I could do this.
Okay,
as this is selected, I could actually copy this to my Figma as an editable SVG. Right? But yeah, in a few minutes, other options are coming up. So you see here, the first screen. The first screen is the dashboard screen. When I click down, I will see the second screen here is the I'm trying to okay, so I'm struggling with the view.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to put the window at one side so I can see my screen.
You can see, okay.
Can you still see me?
I see what you're sharing, but it's fine. I can still see you. It's fine. I still see you as well. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry about that, because I'm not used to this platform. Riverside. But yeah, so you see another screen. This one is in the right tab, you see where you are. This is race card. So you could preview it again and you could see what race you picked on, one of the races, one of the cups. You can then place your bets, how much it's going to be, all of these, the things you expect to have here, right? And on and on and on. You actually see a whole flow.
It keeps
where all the ideas. But then when I talk about options, this is what I mean. This is what this looks like, right? The same thing can be represented in this way, different layouts, different way. And of course, I selected 3. You could select 7 or 10, and you could get multiple ideas. Again, this is an actual infinite canvas, so you can actually get as many ideas as possible on the same thing. And you could begin to get UX ideas on how best to approach this, how best to do this, how best to do that, stuff like that, right?
first impression when you first shared Moonchild with me was, like I said, I see that it completely eliminates this time spent for iterations, especially in the very early stages of building something new, especially like in a new industry. The hours that you
Mm-hmm.
spend with like research, digging into the industry, finding out all of like the quirks, the things that are common knowledge for these
Mm-hmm.
people. Immediately I used Moonchild, I immediately saw that you can quickly do like a lot of iterations there. He understands. It's one of the few tools that really understand design and what designers are looking for from the first prompt. There's never like, oh, this is not what I meant in the prompting. Like
Yeah.
it's always in context, very
Yeah.
on point.
Yeah.
Also, something that is not quite common as well. And like in all of the models that I've tried, some of the things that I've tried is that the UI quality as well is
Mm-hmm.
is not very high, but it's higher than everything else I've tried and tested. I
Okay.
would even say that it's better than Figma AI, like what the Figma AI
Oh yeah, it's better
that
than Figma
released
AI.
and then
Oh, you
rolled
don't
back. Yeah, yeah, for
you don't need
sure.
to say you would
For
even
sure.
say it is better than Figma
I would
AI.
say,
Oh, that I can
I mean,
say.
just for the yeah, I would say that. I mean, for all the things I've tested, this is better. I shared this with my sister as well. She was like, "Wow, why didn't I give her this before?" Because I gave her
Interesting.
my invite code as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the feedback that I've gotten just with people that I've shared it with is like, this is amazing. It eliminates hours and hours of time spent doing research, iterating, making sure you've explored all the different variations that possibly could be. Because there's the
Yeah.
thing about designers, I'm a designer, the thing about me and other designers as well is like, we're thinking, is this all that is possible? What are the possibilities? We were trying to
Yeah.
always find what are the possibilities. There are infinite possibilities, and we're trying to find all of them as much as we can, given the time that we have.
Mm.
Because there's always that question mark: did you try more things? What are the things
Mm-hmm.
that you've not tried? What are things that you're
Yeah.
not thinking about? So this
Mm-hmm.
gives you insight into some of the things that you might not be thinking about, and gives you insight to things that you can start thinking about. So
Yeah.
yeah, beautiful, beautiful work
Oh
so
yeah.
far.
Sorry.
Very,
I
very
think I think
beautiful.
I
I want you
wanted
to
to.
share more use cases
Yes,
as well. Just I
exactly.
wanted to
I
share.
wanted to share more things, right?
Mhm.
So, for example, thank you for everything you said because it's just like apt, right? One of the things you could do here is again think about all of the things designers use ChatGPT to do. A lot of designers upload their designs and ask it for critique, right? So something like picking a reference and being like, let me actually use another screen. Let's say, yeah, this is a good one, right? Picking a reference and being like, critique this
Mhm.
and tell me, let's say, 3 ways I can improve this, right? And let me just put this in one, and it will take a look at it, and it will actually tell you strengths, what it lacks, what it can be improved on, and go all the way to actually show you that visually. So again, all the answers come in this way that right now designers do this, but they do this, they get the ideas in words, they have to come back to their Figma and try to kind of weave it together, right? So
Mm.
we do all of that here. So it tells you the first thing is you could enhance accessibility and visual hierarchy. It literally shows you how, right? It
How?
tells you, improve bed type selection. It shows you how. It tells you, the working class UI for efficiency, add, launch break specific features and all of those things that kind of include your context. And it shows you how, right? In a few minutes,
Mm.
you're going to see screens. It's going to all show up. Another thing you could do here is, and this is another designer favorite, is when designers see something, they are always like, what's the font I used here? That's a very favorite one. And so
Mhm.
again, you could easily just pick reference and just ask like, I don't know, in one sentence. I could even make grammatical errors. What?
AI forgives all.
Of course, like it should be able to be smart enough to know what you're asking for, right? So it tells you exactly what the sensor is, the families, and everything. Um, and so that's another use case. And if you didn't notice, you can actually generate a full user flow, like actual user flow that you could go screen to screen to screen to screen, the kind that you use noodles to join together into a prototype on Figma. You can actually generate all of that here. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you probably already get the sense just based off the fact that all of the ideas are using the similar design system. This is RaiseBet UK. You could see how it's flowing with RaiseBet. Everything is the same. So you could immediately imagine how it could give you a flow. And you're right. It could actually give you a full user flow. Let's say a flow to make a bet or a flow to whatever use case it is, no matter how you put it. So, and this is a random thing. Let me actually ask for this, right? Let's say give me a, I don't know, 6 screen user flow for ordering pasta from a nearby restaurant using a food delivery app, right?
So
Let's just get
tablets.
to, no, I want to make it mobile this time.
Okay.
We've played around with tablets a lot. So, and you will see what it will do here. It will literally go into creating that for you, right? It will tell you the screens that should make up the 6. So the first screen should be home screen, second screen should be menu screen, third screen, you pick something, customize your order, fourth screen, your carts, fifth screen, your checkout, sixth screen, order confirmation, right? Again, this is all I did. This is just like this one sentence. And so again, remember the guiding principles. You do not need to be a prompt engineer. And you could see here is saying waiting on previous flow. So you see it's in a flow mode where it could actually give you a
Trying to
flow. So it
pick
makes
up.
sure that every single thing aligns and it could go screen to screen to screen to screen to screen when it's done, right? And again, think about every single thing that designers already use ChatGPT to do, copy, critique for their designs, getting more ideas, figuring out ways to handle things, all of the ways to do, design thinking, UX problem solving is kind of what we bundled into one app, one place, right? You can see the
Yeah.
screens already here. This is the first screen. And
I
if you
have
keep going,
one question.
yeah, please ask me.
Yes. Just as this is still generating, I start to think
Mhm.
about other things that designers always think about, which is design systems, right? Cohesiveness of design, right? Just walk as this is loading, walk us through how Moonchild is thinking about design system and piecing that in.
Oh yeah, so that's a good question. So by default, Moonchild just picks a design system that kind of fits into the norm. Like, for example, you take a look at this, you see like
This
the red.
industry.
Red is very popular. Yes, industry standard. Green is popular for like labelings, the layout, and let me just preview this so you take a look at this in a more crisp way. So you see kind of things that are used to, right? So if you leave Moonchild on its own, it is going to kind of find industry accepted design system that works with your context, your case study, right? But you see another one. This is another one because I picked two. You could see, stuff like this. This is what you kind of expect from a food delivery app. Now, for if you do have a specific design system, we actually built something called design system. So there's a tab here called design system, right? If you click in here, you could actually create a design system. Currently, you could create a design system from a prompt, from an image, or a blank design system, right? Over time, we're going to add, creating a design system directly from your Figma. So you could pick a project and create a design system with it. But right now, it's not available because we're just a really small team and there's a lot to build. So we're just building things step by step. But there's an interesting thing I want to show you, which is from prompts. So you could do from image where you could go to your Figma, maybe take a picture of a
A few screens.
PNG. Yeah, just like, drop it into here, like drop it here, and it would give you a design system. But for the sake of this call, let's do a prompt. because sometimes there are still designers that even if they you could use Moonchild today to ideate with high fidelity. You could see all of this in high fidelity. Some people still want to see wireframes. They want to see the skeleton of white and black. And, you could also do that here, right? So let's say you just do low fidelity wireframe as a prompt. It would create in a few seconds, it will create a design system that uses that. And so this is what it looks like. So it has
Nice.
like the fonts, header, body, it has colors. You can see,
So
the
the
skeletal
tokens.
system of it. Yeah, right. And then let's test it out. So now it's auto saved. And so now any new thing I try to do is going to use that design system. So sometimes you get errors like this, you could just retry them. But before I even do something, let me see. So what I could do here is I could just add a new variation of the screen. And once I do that, it is
What did you
going
click to do
to,
that?
good question. So when I double click on the screen, you see these buttons. One is adjust and one is variation. So I click
Okay.
variation and it created this variation for me. So this is going to
Right.
come in a wireframe. So when it's done, you're going to see it in a wireframe. But let's talk about adjust. There are things designers do that I haven't even gotten to talk about. And that is when you see something you like, you'll be like, okay, this is looking good. What does this look like? Responsive? What does it look like in a tablet or in desktop or, in dark mode or, in whatever way, So there is two things. First thing is if you wanted to get a new screen from this screen, or if you want to change something within the screen. So let's go with changing something within the screen. You could just edit the screen. Remember the preview state I put you in before? I could be like, I don't like pasta here. I would rather this be, I don't know, spag near me, right? And I could, when I click edit, so there's this option called edit, and all of this becomes clickable. So I could select this and be like, change
Change.
this to, right? And you should be able to take a look at it and in like 1-2 seconds, actually change it to spag near me. And now I could preview it and it's now spag near me. And when I leave here, it's still spag near me everywhere, right?
Nice.
Now our new thing is done. You can see how it is all skeletal using this design system, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so again, you could preview it. And for people that like to ideate in this way, it's also very possible for you to do that. But yeah, that's for design system. You could actually put in the design system you want, and so that every new screen you create on Moonchild is going to have a design system. You could always like click drop down, select ones. For these purposes, I'll just stick to none. But you could always select the ones you have and continue working. Now, if you wanted your screen to kind of you wanted to edit this screen but preserve this particular screen, maybe you wanted to see this in dark mode, you could use adjust, right? So when you click adjust, you can just, scroll this back to 1 and just do something like this. I know this spelling is wrong, but it should be intelligent enough to figure that it's dark mode. Another
Yeah,
thing
just
you
as we
could
are
do.
waiting for this to load. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, I wanted to show one more thing.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay, you can show that. Then we
yeah,
can.
so there's something else called merge. And this is another thing designers do a lot. When designers are like brainstorming and mood boarding, they kind of collect a lot of things from a lot of places, download images from real apps of mobbing or from Dribble or from Behance or wherever, or from Google or from Twitter threads, wherever. And then they are like, I like the layout here. I like the footer here. I like this here. I like this here. And they kind of try to piece all of these things together. Our dark mode is done. You can see what it looks like. You see it carries everything you did, spag near me and so on and so forth. But yeah, so it's called merge. When I select two screens together, two or more screens together, the button changes to merge. right? And when I click merge, I can say I like the, let's say, layout of this first one and the styling and colors of the second one, right? And I could merge them together. So the right tab is the compass of the tool. Is where whenever you click, you could tell where you are, what you're looking at, what it means,
Mm,
what you can do, the prompt, everything. So when I click here, I could see this is the merge screen, merge
mm,
design. I could see the prompt. I could see the references, And so when it's done, it's
mm,
actually going to take the layout of this guy and it's going to combine it with the style and colors of this guy, right? And so that's
mm,
one of the things designers do a whole lot that I wanted to bring to our attention. But yeah,
mm. Nice. Moonchild, even just still, which is still in beta, it's such a powerful tool, just as is. People would pay for this
you're
as
currently
is.
breaking.
Can you hear me?
Hello,
Can you hear me?
hello. So
I can hear
yeah, I can hear
you.
you now. In the last 1 minute, you were breaking.
Oh, okay, but it's all good now, yeah?
Yes, it's good now.
Okay. So what I was saying that even though Moonchild is still in beta, still in build phase, it's as is a powerful product. People would pay for this. Designers specifically would pay for this. I think designers
Mm-hmm.
have an affinity, more so a likelihood to pay for stuff. I wouldn't want to compare them to anybody, but like designers pay for stuff, right? From even though that it seems like there's always a back road, yeah, like with like for instance, like Adobe suits, Adobe products, even with Figma as is, there's a lot of a lot of how people try to gamify their ways into this product and just
Oh
as
yeah,
is. But there are
I
obviously
think
people that just pay for it straight up, right? Depending on
yeah,
their capacities, where they live,
I think
access that they have. So, you wanted to say something?
oh yeah, I wanted to say I think you're very correct. Compared to front end engineers, designers pay for stuff. I think that's just it. Yeah.
That's the way to put it. But yeah,
I
thanks
yeah yeah
thanks for
like
sharing Moonchild. Sorry, you want to say something?
oh no.
Yeah.
I
Okay, go.
oh yeah, I was just trying to say yeah, I I think there's a conversation about like how much can designers pay for stuff. That's another conversation altogether. But just comparing apples to apples, designers do pay for stuff compared to front end engineers, especially. So yeah.
You have this very specific hate to these guys. But yeah, what do you not want Moonchild to become, right? The ways that people use
Yeah.
Moonchild now, what do you not want it to become?
I think I do not want Moonchild to be static. So and this is from my point of view, and I might be wrong, but I think my team is probably one of the fastest moving AI
No,
companies
blow,
out of SF,
talk your talk.
right? Just like by just the quantity of like engineering resource we have and how fast and how far we are moving in stealth, right? I think we're doing a lot, and that is the culture I love. That is what's fun. Like I think work should be fun and exciting, and so I think what I never want Moonchild to be is a static company, like a company that you could, when you go on LinkedIn and you take a look at the company and you be like, nah, these guys have not shipped shit in the last 2 years, right? There are a
Yeah,
lot of companies like there are a lot of companies that default alive. I want to always feel that pulse. Like I want to always feel,
things
and
are
and and and
quickly moving.
and
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
I'm sorry, maybe you're asking these questions for the product feel. I'm answering it from just a personal feel of
No,
a
lovely. I
builder of
love.
the product.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that actually. I love that. But yeah, so you always want to have fun and move and keep
And keep
just
moving, keep shipping.
there's no idle
Yes,
time or like there's no dull
yes,
time.
yes,
There's always
yeah,
play, go, 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 go,
yes,
go.
yes,
Love
yes.
that. Love that. You described when you were telling me about Moonchild, you called it that you're building what you call the lazy product designer, a tool for the lazy product designer. Um,
Yeah,
that
yeah, I
is
know I've
such,
mentioned that before.
yeah, that is such just like a controversial framing, almost
Hmm.
negative as well, like depending on how you
Hmm.
see it.
Hmm.
What does that mean in practice? What do you mean?
So I think I think I understand how that could be viewed negatively. So I would say this is not even an official Moonchild capacity yet. This is my
It's just
personal
you.
thoughts, right?
You're not speaking.
But
Real.
I think
Mhm.
I think the how do I explain this the most? Okay, so Bill Gates some years ago said he would he would always pick a lazy person to solve a hard problem because a lazy person would
We
find the
find
most
better
efficient way
way to get it
to
done.
solve that problem because they just want to go and sleep, right? And I think that is my definition of lazy. So in that regard, it's not a negative word. It's for the procrastinators, for the oh my god, it's 5, slam my laptop, right? It's for those people that just want to do good work within their 9 to 5 and go. Like, they have family, they have friends, they have life, they have a life to live also. Of course, work is part of your life, but they also just want to do the best that they can within the work hours, right? One of the things that I think I really, you asked earlier, are there differences I found in designers across various markets? We didn't talk about similarities. So one thing that is global is that a lot of designers are stressed. A lot of designers are
Reminding
overworked.
me
A
of
lot of
the
designers are
I
UX
don't know if you
writers.
saw that
They are
Lenny
the
survey.
researchers. They are, yeah, oh my God, Lenny survey shows that designers are the most
At the
depressed
most
people.
bottom, more than
Is
PMs,
the
more than engineers,
truth.
more than founders is
Is the
insane.
truth. That is what I found in my own research too. So that really, really,
That
really
rings
tracks.
true. Yeah.
That tracks. And this is from a data of just 300 people I talked to personally. Lenny, of course, is a big person. He's talked to a lot of people, but like this is just like it tracks, right? So they're burnt out. They're doing a lot. Some of them, they are, they're the design system is behind the products. They're updating the design system. They're shipping new stuff. They're doing handoff, and all
I'm
while
wearing
having their
like 100
PMs,
hats.
and all
Mhm.
while having their PMs on Figma, waiting for them to drop comments like hawks. Right? It's crazy if you
It's
think about it,
insane. It's actually insane.
and it's a lot of work. So we're building stuff for people who, because there's now this new world of AI, do you want to add being a prompt engineer to your plate? Do you want to, start thinking, one of the beautiful things about being a designer is being creative, right? Moonchild lets you be creative because a lot of these other tools that really can maybe do a bit of what we do, you would have to go into the weeds of code. You would have to understand CSS and HTML. You would have like, but that is not your job as a designer. I know they are product engineers, right? But just by default, they are designers and they are engineers. So like that
Mm.
shouldn't be your job. It's not your job to do all of that. And that is the people. These are the people we are building Moonchild for. The burnt out designers, the designers that
Which is all
can't
of us.
even, the designers that can't even explore multiple options for the PRDs that they are designing for just because of time. Not because they don't want to. Not because they don't want to, because in fact the creative part is the fun part for designers. So it's not like they don't want to, but just because
They physically
they
cannot.
they can't.
They
So
physically
one of the
can't.
things I found, which is facts, and this is also true across markets, is you'll be shocked at how many designers that their first ideas get to get shipped into the product. Like how many designers do not even have time to explore anymore. You'd be shocked at how many designers are in that bucket, right? Like bring design back. Like, so what we're trying to do is give you a lot of this time back so you could explore options. We start like the core of the product is immediately you click. you're seeing options. Like it just starts putting you back in
Open
that
your it
mode
opens your eyes immediately.
that you
Yeah.
love as a designer. The thing that made you not choose to do software development. The thing that you loved about things was the
Mm,
beauty, the visuals, the up and down, the different options, how you can mix and match, like bring. So that is the lazy designer, and that's the person we are solving for. We're trying to bring you back to that childlike nature of exploring again, right? But then the big
what
goal for us is even way beyond ideation, right? The big goal for us is alignment. We think that, I mean, and I think maybe we'll talk about this soon, but because of AI and the way things are going, a lot of things might not be possible in the future, and the future might be full of new stuff entirely. But yeah, that's kind of my explanation for lazy
where you
designers,
are
and
now.
these are the people we are building. Yeah.
Yeah. You can we talk about the ways that people are currently using Moonchild? What have you seen? What are you surprised about?
Ah. So I think one thing just jumped out in my head, and that was just recent. Someone had an interview, a third stage interview for product design role, and they got a
Eh,
case study and they put in Moonchild.
ah.
I don't know if this is a great example or not, but I think it was good to know that people could immediately, when they think about, because again, when you're given an assessment, you know, this is not your 9 to 5. This is
Use the
something you're trying
tools.
to get a job. You want to
Mm,
make sure you find the best possible. Like, so the fact that the designer thought about Moonchild is literally almost always the first use case I talk about, because it just explains what the product does. Like, I'm trying to find the best possible solution to wow this interviewer,
mm, mm.
and this tool would definitely give me ideas, right? And so that's one use case.
One thing is
Um,
for sure. One thing is
another
sure.
use another use case. I mean, there are multiple use cases. Which of them are surprising? Oh, amazing! So I found for the first time. Um, so Moonchild Assist today has evolved. The very first version of Moonchild didn't have a chat, right? What he had was he had a it was designed in a way that you can, like, every screen had its own chat, and the chat was not persistent and general for everything on the canvas. Like, it
Every
was not canvas and chats. It was just pure canvas, and just, like,
chat, chat, chat.
generates or
Mm,
adjust or
mm,
merge different buttons. We built it in such a way. How we thought about it was like, designers needed tools, and the more tools you can mix and match, the better, right? But we're so wrong. We're so wrong, because people are like, the ChatGPT thing is so real. People are used, like,
that chat
people don't
UI.
really realize how
Mm,
much we are now all married to a chat interface. I don't
mm,
think people dip it, including us who have the data and have talked to people. We still fell for that, because it's wanting to have data, like insights, is wanting to interpret it and then build whatever you're building, right?
mm.
So we actually didn't start out with that. It was people who started overusing the chat of the screens that made us. We are looking at, like the analytics, and we're like, oh my god, like, how are we using this stupid? We used to call it a stupid feature, and it was two people that asked for it initially. It never came with a chat before. Two people asked for it initially because they wanted to critique designs. That's what they do, and like, we could just add it as a, right click on an image, and you could chat
And
about it and
chat.
stuff. It just pop up and closes. It's not persistent anywhere, and it's just contextual to that image.
Mm,
But the way people started using it, like, surprised us, and it got to that point where we actually had to do this, and this has been a game changer, because the thing is, we decided to just really, really. So again, I've already told you about, like, the kinds of people within the team, so the kind of
mm,
talent and how good they are, and how far they've gotten in products, like in design tool space, in user centered design, all of that, right?
mm,
So when you combine that with data from users, so how we do our roadmap then becomes just product sense and intuition, just based off who we are. plus what people are saying, we start to marry it really well and see
really
like,
well.
where are like overlaps, where are we seeing patterns from two sides that we could say, oh, this is definitely what we do. So that's kind of how we started working on that, and we now have chat persist. What again surprised me? Oh,
Before
someone,
you go to your next point, I
yeah.
think this is just my product intuition, but I think that chat per screen would come back, will make a comeback. Um, just okay, again, initially it feels like a power feature as opposed to a first time, like an initial version of the product, like a V1,
Mm-hmm,
right? It
mm-hmm,
feels more so like people that have used the product in a while, so they've done the basic, they've generated their first prompt. I want to
mm-hmm,
down dig deeper. I want to do something differently. I want to have more control over what is being showed, exactly where it's being showed in this very
mm-hmm,
specific screen. So
mm-hmm.
I think just that intuition is going to make it come back
I
to
think I
keep
think
your
to answer
clients
your
happy.
question, I think it's just not available to the public yet. It has in
Oh,
another way altogether.
okay.
So again, as I mentioned, and I don't know, maybe I could talk about this now. The future of where we're going, we actually think that ideation is just a start. Ideation is kind of what gets you excited, but the future for us is we believe AI. First of all, what AI is doing in 2025 is AI is AI has changed what the flow means for good design, good looking design, right?
Mhm.
Um, with tools like ours, for example, you can like some, and I could share these threads with you. There's a thread on Reddit I posted. It's been 2, 3 months now, and like Moonchild has gone far. This was like 2 months ago. I posted a thread on Reddit, a conversation where I put two screens. One this I picked up from Twitter, a thread from Twitter, and one from Moonchild,
Moonchild.
and people couldn't distinguish which was which. And the actual one, designed by a
A
respected
human.
designer,
Mm.
got more critique than what Moonchild did.
So is
Right?
it the same? We were
The
solving the
same
same
prompt, yeah,
problem.
yeah, the
The
same,
same.
yes, solving the same problem, yeah, yeah, yeah. So like reimagining the same problem, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and that is crazy if you think about it. So, basically, the point I'm making is, AI is going to raise the bar. Is not is going to has raised the bar for what good design or what good look and feel is, right? Um, and what that means is the differentiators. Then, when you talk about differences, what stands you out, what's your mood, what makes
Mm-hmm.
you a great person. Like, so, great design becomes the new conversation to have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and so taste becomes about how to spot what is above the belt, because the belt is now good design. Good.
Yes.
So I
The,
think that the future is going to be quite interesting, because for for the purposes of daily life as we know it today, good design passes. Good design could go to production. Good, like, let's be honest. Let's be really, really frank with things. Like, good design could, with just a little more humanness in them, could actually pass for a whole lot of things to do, right? And what that means is, you know, it just makes you think, what would be the job of a designer of the future, right? Of course, aside, putting things together, using tools to get work done, what am I going to be using, the rest of the time? Because when I say I'm saving you time, I think if you look at things from an IC point, it might not even hit. But when you look at things from a team point, it might begin to really, really hit you what I mean by time. A lot of companies, they have a mandate to do something, and then the VP of design is saying, okay, so we have to slot in 3 weeks to design these things, or a month, and then we have to then do 2 weeks of handing off, and like
you're
tools exist
compressing.
today
Mm-hmm.
that conversation could be, we are going to slot in 2, 3 days to do this, with 4 people on one Moonchild project brainstorming their life away. And in a couple of hours, they have screens, and not just screens, but flows, but not just flows, but prototypes, which
Prototypes.
is where we're going. So
Yeah.
we, if you are paying attention, because I know you use Moonchild yourself, you will see we have design system now. We have user flows now, right? And we have previews now. So you see, we have the foundations of everything it takes to go to the next step of actually prototyping these user flows, right? And that's
Exactly.
where we're going next, right? And actually, that is where the screen-based comments would be making a
Will come
comeback.
up.
That is where a whole lot of things. So think about, comments. Think about like think about think of as far as user testing. Like I can now have two prototypes, and I could be like, I want to A/B test this. I have four dedicated users and four dedicated users here. Give them the test. We give you the heat maps. We give you the analytics.
Everything
Think
is
about comments. Think about so we think the job, and that's just
job's
us
not
as a
done.
team. We think the job not just being done. We think the job of the designer of the future is alignment.
I mean, when I say job's not done, I meant the
So
team, like for
yeah.
you guys.
Oh, the team, our job is not done.
Mm.
Our job is never done. But we think the future, we think the job of the future, like the designers of the future, their job is going to be alignment, because AI is going to be better than good, and AI is going to be doing the shifting of boxes. And your job is going to be bigger than just moving boxes. It's going to be alignment. It's going to be, you know, being able to understand how things move, being able to prototype things, being able to share things, get thoughts, move it back to Moonchild, get results. The back, like being able to actually stay and manage all of those moving pieces, which is going to be all happening in Moonchild. So that's kind of what we're thinking. So the designer of the future would not be moving boxes, which is why if you look, you will see how we are almost lackluster with our Figma supports, because in the future, you wouldn't quite need Figma. And so a lot of our energies are not being spent on perfecting something that you would normally imagine we would have perfected by now based off like the level of engineering resources we have. But really and honestly, um, tools like Figma, tools that just help you draw boxes, are not going to be as relevant in the future. I think Figma already knows it. You can see the new tools Figma is bringing up. Like, I think they know, and over time this will be clearer and clearer. But just based off the fact that we're talking to all of these designers, we are kind of plugged into the pulse, and we are building for what the future is. This is what our prediction of the future is, and this is what we are putting all our resources behind. But yeah,
May the best man win. May the best may the
always.
best model win.
I,
I
I
talk
I always say
about
something about winning. Oh, sorry to cut you. I always say something about winning, and that's like, if someone eats our lunch tomorrow, they need to turn around and say, "Oh shit, sorry, can I swear here? Oh shit, that was a good lunch I ate." Right? Like, I'm okay with someone eating our lunch, but that they have to make that comment for me to
they
feel good.
have to feel good about it. Like
Yeah, it
it
has to be
has to
something to
hit.
be like, there's something
Yeah.
different about this lunch I just ate.
Yeah, which is one of the questions I wanted to ask you. How do you want people to feel? But you just answered. The philosophy that you believe in is that you don't believe that designers should vibe code. I also, I guess, the more nuanced belief that I have is that I don't think you can vibe code, vibe design. I don't know what the kids are calling it these days. You can vibe code your way into um, building something truly remarkable without some foundational understanding, right? So when you say designers, do you use that word loosely, right? So designers that are like they just started learning design, or just designers. It's a blanket word.
Oh, so I think what I mean by designers shouldn't vibe code is because of, and I'm speaking to just like product designers, or more specifically UI UX designers, people who are pushing pixels and moving boxes, right? I think because product design is much more than that, of course, but I think the vibe coding, the reason why, and this is what I think, and maybe from some conversations I've already had, the reason why I see a lot of designers use vibe coding tools today is because, again, they're trying to get alignment. So they're trying to get something working. They're trying to push it to the PM or to the engineers and ask, is this what we are looking to do? Is this like, how close is this? Like, they're trying to get They're trying to get that back and forth. They're trying to get, there's a lot of things we call it, but I think alignment is the perfect word for it, because what they're trying to get is that vibe coded tool is different from their code base. It's not even going to work for their code base, but that prototype. So prototypes for us are the language for getting alignment, is the point. And
Good.
because there's no prototype tool that is easy to work around, Figma needs you to connect noodles, and then needs you to design states. And then like Figma takes your arm and your leg. So a whole lot of designers today, I believe, and this is my point of view, and I might be wrong, that use vibe coding tools today do so to get prototypes out, to get alignment, to then go back to Figma to build, so that they don't get to iterate and iterate and iterate.
Good
And
things.
yeah, but yeah, that's kind of what my thought process is so far for that. And I feel like over time, tools will exist where these designers would get this alignment without having to think in code, because these vibe coding tools come with their downsides. And one of the downsides, as we mentioned in the start, is exploration. You have to, first of all, you come to a vibe coding tool. The first assumption is that you know what you want. So you sit down and you document 7, 8, 10 paragraphs of what you want, because that first prompt is the most important prompt you would ever give, until you create a new project to create another first prompt, which will become the most important prompt of that project. Every other thing you do after the first prompt is editing and iterating on whatever it is giving you, right? So if it's a good thing, perfect, thank God. If it's a bad thing, you will be back and forth with errors and fix this error that you created, and okay, I've fixed it and I've added 2 more errors, and like you do that dance and do that dance. And again, this shouldn't be what a designer should be doing. But of course, designers do that today, in my assumption, because tools do not currently exist to help them get what they want. And so they've got to use what they have to get what they want.
I want to say 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, I don't know that I agree with the people that use like vibe coding tools to get alignment. Yes and no, right? Yes, for designers that are, working 9 to 5, they work within an
Mm-hmm.
organization, they are
Mm-hmm.
responsible for the design function, working with
Mm-hmm.
developers, handing off things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are new types of designers that are founders, people that we're calling design founders, people that,
Oh,
like you
okay.
said,
Yeah.
are trying to, you spoke to designers, they're now saying, oh, they work here, but then they're trying to do X, they're trying to build this
Yeah.
side project, that.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think that there is a strong there's a strong need for people like that are
Mm-hmm.
designers but have ideas to
Mm-hmm.
interface with a live, a tool that can get them their live product faster. So that's tools
I
like Kusa, tools like Lovable, other things.
Yes,
there's
yes,
there's a
yes, yes.
debate on that,
I
right?
I
So
100%
when you
agree with
talk
that.
about Moonchild, just answer this question. Moonchild replaces Dash.
Yeah, Moonchild replaces, I think, Figma.
Good. All right. So
Yeah.
that's all I wanted to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Before we
I
just
wanted to
Figma.
I wanted to agree with what you said. So you see the people you defined as design founders, right? In their 9 to 5, right? Vibe coding
That
tools.
time.
I'm saying vibe coding tools wouldn't work for them. But you
Yes. Yes.
see, once you leave the bracket of product design, in a team, everyone is shipped to
Structure.
Figma. There's a like, do you
Mm,
understand? Once you
mm.
leave that phase to, I want to build something, you are now in the engineering and product, and it's now more than product design,
Is
right?
now just more,
Do you understand?
even
So
more than just development.
exactly.
There's
So
growth,
I
there's
want us to make that
distribution.
distinction, because
Yeah.
Moonchild does not have any business with those people. And so the sentiments I have, again, do not concern those people. Do
Those
you
people.
understand?
Good,
Yeah.
good, good, good. All right, cool, cool, cool. I mean, I think that we've had really amazing conversation. I want to play a game.
Hmm.
Again, nothing crazy.
Another game. Okay.
But yeah, the game is Kiss, Marry, Kill. It's not what you're thinking, please.
Oh my God. Oh
But
my God.
yeah,
All right.
come.
All right. Hit me
Yeah,
with it.
so I'm gonna list 3 products and you're going to choose,
Oh,
right?
3 products. Kiss,
Um,
marry, kill.
Yes.
You have to
So
make sure that products I know.
of course. So
Okay.
Figma, you don't know where it is going. But it's not what you think, really. Figma, Framer, Webflow. I didn't put Moonchild there because I know what you say.
Kiss, marry,
So
kill.
Figma, Framer, Webflow.
Kiss, marry, kill. Okay. So we already know I'll kill Figma. Let's put that out of the way.
That one is a personal. That one is a
No,
personal.
no, 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 no. It's not even a
No,
personal
it's
thing.
personal now. It's
I
personal.
don't think it's personal. Let me
It
tell you
is.
why I
It
don't think it's
is.
personal. I don't think it. No, I'll ask you a question, and if you answer that, then we can agree that it's personal. So,
Okay.
do you think that Figma is back to becoming the Adobe of our time today? Yes or no?
Adobe of this generation.
Adobe of
Um,
Adobe of 2010s. The way Adobe was in the early 2000s. Do you think Figma is there or close to being there in 2025? Yes or no?
no.
No. Okay. All right. Then it's personal. Continue.
Clearly,
Then it's
clearly.
personal because I
um,
think I think differently. I think Figma has no focus to it. Like a good example is literally released State of Designers in 2025, and there's nothing in there about designers. And I wish you could maybe in this leave
thing.
a link
Put it up.
to it so people can
Mm,
actually see for themselves because I feel like
mm,
I expected
more.
outrage online
Mm-hmm.
about that. But again, they released a lot of things around the same time. So fair enough, a lot of people missed it. But
Missed it.
that was
Fair.
one of the most
Mm,
shameful things I saw this year. But
mm.
again, yeah. Now
It is
Webflow
personal.
and
Let's
Framer.
move.
Webflow and Framer. I would I guess I would marry the thing is the two tools, I don't know. I would marry Framer, I guess.
Rema.
The reason is because I think is it has to be said
Mm,
that even though I don't personally use Framer, I've heard a lot of great things about Framer from people who actively use Figma, and that is a lot. So
mm,
that's just about that, and so that leaves Kiss Webflow.
mm.
Yeah, Webflow used to be a tool I used to use once in a while, so I guess the little Kiss wouldn't hurt.
Oh, hot. Okay. This one is for you. Love this one. So Typeform, Beehive, ConvertKit.
These are tools I don't use. These are tools I don't use. I need you to give
Okay,
me like
let's
analytics tools.
skip that. Skip. Let's go to very
Okay,
basic, right? Notion, Google
okay.
Docs, Apple Notes.
I would marry Notes. I use Notes almost every day. It's a shitty product, but
What?
I'll marry it. Yeah, it's a shitty product, but I'll marry it.
It's just one of those
Um,
things. Hmm.
I think, okay, I'll have to kill Notion. Even though I use Notion every single day, I'll have to kill Notion because I'm one of those people that I feel, again, I'm one of those people that people is like, what do you mean? What do you mean? But like, I think Notion is not the easiest to use in a lot of ways. Even though we use it every day, like I use
Why
Notion
do you
every
use it
day.
every day then?
That for work, for communication, for you. I didn't have to use Notion to get the notes for this call, but I did because you sent me a Notion, and that was what I made, right? Um, then Google Docs. It's funny. I used to be in love with Google Docs. A couple of years ago, I used to do a lot more things in content marketing, and I
Mm,
used to really love Google Docs, and then
mm.
Dropbox Paper. Um, and yeah, so
Speak with that.
I
You
would
speak
kiss.
of
I would kiss Google Docs.
Dropbox with a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah, I don't use it anymore. I don't even know if that
Yeah,
product exists anymore.
it
Dropbox
does.
Paper. Do they still exist? It does.
Yeah, they
Interesting.
just rebranded. Yeah, Dropbox is
Okay.
there. Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so last one. So you said kill Notion, marry notes, kiss
And
docs.
kiss Docs, yes.
Fair game. All right, so last one, Twitter. I'm one of those people that still call it Twitter. So Twitter,
It's
Instagram,
still Twitter.
right? Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Oh, thank God you did not see TikTok. Okay. I expected you to see
This
TikTok.
is
Okay. So I think, huh, I love Twitter, man. I'm gonna marry Twitter. I love Twitter. Like, I know Twitter is not where it used to be, but I still love Twitter, man. Like, I still get so much from Twitter. Twitter's still one of those apps that still gets a lot of emotions out of me. Like, I'm not
true.
that active with a lot of apps.
More
And
social.
like yeah, I used to be a very public person, and I'm no longer that person. But you will still find a lot of me on Twitter. So, like
Mm.
raw, uncut, like yeah.
You, yeah.
So I'll marry Twitter. I will kill LinkedIn. Oh my god, that hideous app.
No, you people that are hating on LinkedIn now. I used to be that person, but
and then which one is the other one? Instagram? Was it Instagram? Oh, I can kiss Instagram. Why not?
Instagram.
Oh, you know one thing I like about Instagram? You know
Tell us.
the you know the recommendation. You know when you search for something,
Mm.
let's say you want to find vendors for something, right? Like usually I buy a lot of things from vendors or like Instagram, like in London for from Instagram. So what I do is I want something, I go search for it because I know the algorithm. So Instagram is one of those apps that are using my data to serve me well, and I love it. Take my data,
Search it
serve me
so they
well.
can recommend ads.
So I search, and then they tailor it exactly for what I'm looking for, and I'll get the and it's in stages, right? The first night I would get the expensive options, right? I don't care about them. The next day, I will get like mid, still quality products. This is the ones that I care about. And if I wait 2, 3 more days, I'll start getting very cheap, very scamish vendors. So
You've gamed it. They're not gaming you, you're
huh?
gaming them.
Really? No, that I think they're provided like the algorithm works to that for because I could be having conversations with my girlfriend today, and I open the app and I see those things like the algorithm. They're when they say they're monitoring you, they're really
Yeah,
monitoring us,
in
and
your they're
I love that
literally
they're doing
here
it
now.
well. Yeah, they're doing
Mm,
it well basically. So I love. I'll kiss
if you
them.
want to monitor well. Uh, but yeah, from your role, in Moonchild today, there's a lot of, there's a lot of research, there's a lot of marketing, there's a lot of growth. Um,
Mhm.
what does growing Moonchild mean for at this stage? Moonchild is growing. So what does that look like? How do you
That's
grow
a
a
good
growing
question.
product?
So I think we are still in that phase of figuring things out. We're still in really early stages. We're still private. We're still invite only. Um, we are so I think growing Moonchild just means like running experiments over and over and over again, understanding more of the users, understanding more of the behavior, understanding more.
Mm.
Like currently, we have really, really, really solid sticky retention. We're trying to understand why. We're trying to
Why?
see what people are doing. Yeah, yeah. We're trying to
Mm.
see what's bringing people back. We're trying to see the last thing people do, and then the first thing they do when they come back. Like so, growing Moonchild means having a really, really clear cut formula. We could either take to the public market, the IC market, or we could take to the teams market, like we go
Mm.
enterprise first. Like we
First.
could go anyway. Like
Mm.
we are just trying to understand like we have our we have the things we love about Moonchild. We have the things we think are the game changers. Like I mentioned to you, what the future looks like. This is what we think, right? We also want to get a pull from the markets in some way. So we're really, really. So is I think um, what growing Moonchild means for me, as the person leading the growth, is um, finding ways to finding multiple ways to kind of understand beyond beyond reasonable doubt
Beyond
what
reasonable.
ticks people, what brings people back, what makes this different, what makes this something unique, and then valuing it, like finding placing a dollar value to that,
On it. Mm-hmm.
and and then finding the best possible market for us to get it out
Pilot.
to,
Mm.
right? So it might look so Moonchild today again, which is what I mean by like a lot of things are changing and things are changing. Like every single day is the one. Every single day we could wake up and scrap everything we've had. It's kind of how we work, and so
Yeah. Nothing is
is very
untouchable.
yes, basically. So we are. It's funny. We used to have it too. We used to have a. It's funny now. I've forgotten the name. We used to have a tool that you would use to. It's like a DJ set where you mix layouts to style to this to this to this to this. Like you can think about it like a DJ set where variables have like what's it called, like scales, so 1 to 10. So and like good, like I don't know, like we had a lot of things. The point I'm trying to make is like we're just like scrapping things. The more we find that this is not something people are using, and this is why we're taking it
Mm-hmm.
out. We're finding what people are using. We're trying to ask, okay, this is
Why?
stage one of this.
Mm,
What does it look like if this is a 10x
mm,
process, or this can do this today and people love it.
mm,
What is the most this thing can do? How much could we push this, right? So
mm,
what you see as Moonchild today has been a collection of all of those, and that's what growth means for us. And we're grateful for all of the things we've gotten so far in terms of like people who have given access to products love it. A whole lot of them love it. A whole lot of them come back to use it till today. And it's quite exciting. It's also
mm.
interesting because it's all still very private.
Yeah, the
And
decision to be private first, invite only first. What was the motivation?
I think the motivation is just the fact that for us, the motivation is we need to build something that people, what YC says, build something people love. It has to be something we're sure people love. It has to be something that we can, when we take it to the market, provided X number of people see it, Y number of people will buy it. And I know that is an interesting take for a very fast moving industry, but that's our take. That's where we want to, like, again, you need to see things from that point of view that is still day zero for AI. And even though people think, oh, the market's saturated for this and that,
It's
we
not
don't
even
believe that's
started.
true. We don't believe
Yeah,
that's true. So I
yeah.
think with that in mind, you could understand where we're moving, where we're trying to get. Like when it has to be a product that when you see it side by side other products that are public, you immediately tell, oh no, this is very different from anything, right?
That you've
That's kind of
seen.
where we're aiming from.
And
Yeah.
like how I would try to articulate so far, which what I've heard and even when I've used the product, that what you guys are trying to do is there is what people are saying, right? What you're hearing from people and what they cannot yet say, what they haven't yet said. So what they haven't yet said or what they cannot yet say. And you guys are just
Mm-hmm.
trying to find the thing that is between those two things. That's where the gold lies. That's the moonchild you want.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so well done, well done. In terms of just like you're talking about go to market, what is that one mistake you find that teams are making, startups are making, as someone that has just been in this space?
Hmm. Uh, I think for me, I I can speak for myself instead of speaking for people. I think it makes sense to always introspect.
Speak for
I
yourself,
think
exactly.
yeah. Yeah. So at Moonchild, for example, we pivoted late. In our definition of
In
pivoted late,
hindsight,
um, and we could have pivoted way earlier than we did. But yeah,
well,
hindsight is always
it's a
2020.
lesson,
So
yeah. And
um,
I
yeah.
read somewhere that um the thing about clarity is like the clarity of hindsight is so bewildering that you cannot see. It's just so clear right now that you're thinking, if only you could see your failings while you're failing. I think it was from this Chimamanda's book, Dream
Oh, I
Counts.
see.
Yeah. She says that in one of the earlier chapters. But yeah, thank you for coming here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Just
This was
for
actually a fun conversation.
actually, I had so many questions. I feel like I haven't asked you everything in my mind, but I mean, I tried to get
Oh
out there. But
no.
it's almost 2 hours. I mean, what
Yeah, yeah,
really?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost
yeah.
2 hours, and it could
Yes,
go
yes.
on. That's to show you, like, you built something that is already bringing conversations, and a lot can take up from there.
Yeah,
Just to
yeah.
throw this question out there, who is one person you'd love to hear behind the ship next? And to people
Hmm.
listening as well, like, who is that one person you'd love to see here as a guest? Just so leave that in the comments.
I
We would love
see.
to hear from them. But yeah, you, Lota.
So there's this guy. He's called Edidiong Mekong or Chief E. He's
Mm,
someone that I think he's one of he's in the growth team at Fireflies AI.
mm.
Um, I think I've come across the guy before. I think one of his writings, and I quite liked it. And I think it'll be interesting to just see him on the podcast too. So I would
Yeah.
say him.
Did Younger. Okay, cool. I think I've seen his Twitter. It's a popular account. Yeah, I'll see if he will pick my call. But
Okay.
yeah, thank you so
All right.
much.
I don't know him personally, but yeah, I think he's
Enjoy.
someone I
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for coming behind the ship.
thank you.
Enjoy the
Thank you for
rest of your
having me.
night.
This was really, really good.
Bye.